Hello everyone, I am back and today we are building an old converted tram. Now I'm a little bit nervous about this one just because it's a little bit of a curveball. So I'm really hoping you get the vibes that I'm trying to go with this one. But basically I saw this really gorgeous image, I think on Pinterest, of this like really old school tram somewhere in Japan. I think a city somewhere in Japan. So just going along this track behind this nice run of old houses, old street, with like grass either side of the track as well. Yeah, and I just thought it was really sweet, and I thought this is great because I can build in Mount Komorebi because I don't build it very often, and I thought it was a good excuse to, yeah, just try something a little bit different. But yeah, I hope it, like I say, I really hope you get the vision that we're going with. But yeah, and again, you know, I don't like doing this, but I did use the debug houses. I've just put them down there. The main reason was I really wanted to build this little platform, which is what I'm doing now. And I wanted to have the tram obviously fit into the surroundings. As I do with most of my builds, I like them to like fit in to where they are. And I felt like, well, the first thing is I really wanted to build on a lot which was longer because I wanted to have the track longer, just to make it look a bit more realistic, so it's not just like plonked in the middle of nowhere or out of nowhere. But all the lots in this like little town area are quite narrow. They're long, but they're narrow. And I know I could have just like built it sideways on the lot, so like as if the lot is faced on the other way. But I also really wanted to go along by the water, and I also like, I just really don't like using the lots sideways. I know that's like a really stupid thing to say, because it really doesn't matter, like, but I don't know, it just bothers me when I know I'm not using the front of the lot. So yeah, so had to make it quite narrow here, and so it meant there was just loads of space behind the platform and the tram itself, and I knew I wanted it to obviously be like an old street, but I had to fill a lot of space, and I thought I'm going to use the debug again because I did want this to be a tiny home, wanted to count as a tiny home. Obviously if I built them myself it wouldn't be a tiny home. So yeah, so basically it's just, I just pretend that this is just part of, because obviously all the houses around this lot are debug anyway, and all the buildings are debug, because it's a built up town area, so I just figured it's just more of that. Yeah, I always feel really weird about using debug houses. But yeah, so I really wanted to build it with this little platform just so that it just sort of like fit in a bit better to the area, and I really like the idea of perhaps it being like, you know, so it's a piece of the tram track which isn't used anymore. For example, say it's a tram route that isn't used, but someone brought like this tram and kept it on this little chunk of track and kept it near the platform. So I just thought that was a sweet little idea. And I do also off camera, because when I finished the build I was like, it still doesn't look quite right. It still looks plonked in the middle of nowhere. I do put these sort of like end pieces on the other side of the track, and you'll probably see it in the image at the start, just so it looks like I say, like it doesn't just like come out of nowhere, this tram, but it is like purposely plonked there, and it was like an old part of where maybe a route was of the tram. So yeah, and the other thing with the platform is, you may notice in the image that I do actually have to move the little steps up to the platform, to like the right hand side of the platform, just because in true Sims fashion they were being so fussy and they wouldn't go up the stairs when I was playtesting. I don't know why. Someone out there might know, but I don't know why they wouldn't work. So I just moved the stairs and they were quite happy to get up, and it looks basically the same, it's just like flipped. So yeah, that just looks a bit different too, but it's not too different. But yeah, so pretty quick build today, nice short and sweet. So yeah, just a lot of debug basically this time around. A lot of debug because I just really, especially on the actual tram itself, because obviously I wanted to, obviously there's no wheels that you can just put in, so I sort of made, or sort of like put a few things underneath. So you'll see at the moment I've got these like red, it's like a red, I can't remember what they're called, but it's like, I think it's like a big like, you know, like cutting fields. I don't know what they're called. I think it came with the high school pack, which I know is completely like not relevant to this, using those like machinery pieces, but I don't know, like when I think of like a tram, I know they are kind of on wheels, but they're kind of different. So because I do add another debug item as well to kind of look like wheels as well alongside those metal pieces, but I just think that it just kind of looks very like machinery under a tram. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's what I was going for. But there we are. But yeah, and I was going to say, actually, I got a lovely comment on a previous video, which also mentioned my audio, and I have been quite worried about my audio because obviously I'm very new to this, and my microphone is very, 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 very cheap. So I have been worried that I am a bit quiet, and obviously I just want to talk in normal volume. I didn't want to like be any louder, but I was a bit conscious that my videos were perhaps a little bit quiet. So I have like changed a few settings before I recorded, so I'm hoping that it might be a bit louder today, or it might be like a better volume. You have to let me know. I hope it sounds better, because yeah, I know it's kind of annoying like if you can't hear what I'm saying or have to turn me up for volume, but yeah, hopefully it's okay now, but let me know if it's not. So what I'm doing here is this like roof trick thing. I do it in some of my builds. I did it on a previous house, I think, the cottage living. I think I did it on the cottage living starter, where basically because obviously what I've done is I've put like little half walls on top of the tram, because I find a lot of trams, they have these cute little like window bits above, but of course that isn't counted as like another floor, but I wanted to put like a little curved roof on it. So the way I do that is build up to like the 3rd level, because obviously I'm already working on the 2nd level because the tram has been brought down from the 2nd level. So I go up to the 3rd level, and then I pull that down to match the height of the half walls, and then pull the roof across, and it matches, so it looks like there's a roof on it. The only problem with doing that is when you move a wall inside the build, or like build a wall inside the build, it will delete that roof. It's very like temperamental, but once it's all built inside and you put the roof on top, it should stay like that fine, as long as you don't like tamper with any of the walls. But yeah, it can be a bit annoying, but I just think it really adds to this build, so I really wanted to do it, even though I know it's a bit annoying. But yeah, so we're on the inside now, really, really small. I wanted to keep some of the things like the sort of like metal flooring, like as if that was the original, and sort of like the paneling that's around, same as the exterior, because in my mind I felt like this is something that maybe someone has done themselves, if you know what I mean, so like converted it themselves, so it's kind of that not rusticy, but kind of homemade, if you know what I mean. So like using the sort of like old cabinets, and it not being like really modern or really plush, just keeping with that sort of like cute vibe of a tram, you know, like an old converted tram. It's got to be kind of cute inside, right? So yeah, and using those curtains, which I use in every build. I'm really, really sorry, I just love them so much, because I really like how they don't cover the whole window, because I really don't like curtains that like, I don't know, just take away from how the window looks. So I think these are really, really cute windows. So I like to still be able to see, and I also felt like it felt very dark maybe if I covered these windows with big curtains. So these little curtains are definitely like the way to go, and it doesn't change too much the sort of like style of the build, if you know what I mean, especially from the outside, because when you put big curtains on windows, sometimes from the exterior it can just really ruin like what it looks like on the inside. But yeah, so I love these ones. And here I am putting my mugs, because what would one of my builds be without putting mugs in the kitchen? I just love that clutter item. I know it's from a kit pack, which I know is annoying, because I know not everyone, it's not ones that like a lot of people have, I think. I don't know, you have to let me know, but I know they're a bit controversial, so I'm always a bit conscious of using them, but I know I use them in a lot of my builds, because like those mugs, they're just so sweet. They're just so realistic, especially like the swatch where there's like a drip, you know, there's like a coffee drip on it. I think that's so cute. But I didn't do that here, obviously, because I don't want like dirty mugs just like on the kitchen shelves. That'd be a bit weird. And that bed that I put down, is it from the high school pack? I can't remember. It fits so well, because like the like wood headboard, like it looked like it was like built into the curve. I really liked that, but the swatches were just like so just, yeah, not the vibe I was going for. So I did swap out for this new bed because I think the swatch on there is really nice. It really fits with like the colour theme. But yeah, it kind of clips a little bit. It doesn't like fits well, but yeah, it looks cute. So there we go. So yeah, well, like I was saying before, the whole idea that perhaps someone's just done this themselves. That's why I was thinking having the clothes just like hanging in front of that door and that old sink, you know, just things like that. That maybe someone's just worked on themselves and they live here. Maybe they rent it out. So it was quite a sweet idea. But we are coming to the end of the build now. So I'll leave you with some screenshots and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.